True feelings exposed. Meghan furiously smashes and takes out her anger on Harry. Why? Sources close to us learned today that after Piers Morgan won over free speech, Meghan Markle furiously smashed the dishes and took all of her anger out on poor Harry. It comes after Piers Morgan blasts the Sussexes for continually trashing the Queen as he renews his war of words with Meghan and Harry after being cleared by Ofcom for Good Morning Britain criticism. The news seemed to immediately fly to sunny California, an ostensibly peaceful contrast to an atmosphere described by insiders as appalling and intensely tense on side. The Sussexes have been infuriated by the result given a close friend has said that Meghan Markle smashed all the plates on the table. Helpless Harry could only watch and collect the pieces. However, it didn't stop there. The insider added, the hypocritical Duchess even dragged the royal family out to humiliate Harry. They added, this is how it goes in the world of Markle. We think of the Markles that they're allowed to spout every untruth we can think of and that we're allowed to throw around with unproven allegations. And we do not wish to be questioned nor criticized for that, especially not by mere peasants. If you dare to do that, we will use every underhanded tactic that we can think of to silence you. It's also a sad day, warning for Harry, who is now powerless against Meghan's greed and cruel demands. Harry has returned to fight back at the place where he was born and sheltered his most heartbreaking days. Markle saw power and money for herself and Harry. He's a mark, and after exploding him for all she can get, I believe that she will divorce him, and he'll have nothing left to give her. He has mental health issues, and she used it for her gain. Worse, she was him that she was burning bridges for books and speaking fees. Meghan will never be satisfied. She'll never move on. Her brand is poor little victim, and Harry will just do as he is told. They make money off the back of trashing the royal family. It's the only thing they have to merchandise. That and his dead mother. That was her plan from the beginning. She wanted to be just like Diana. She was fixated with her, but everyone saw through her at the wedding. That was one strange wedding. Only her mom was there, and the rest were celebs that she had never met in her life. That's when people started with her for what she really is. As we reported, Mr. Piers Morgan has been vindicated by UK media outlet Ofcom that he has every right to speak his mind. The former Good Morning Britain host also gloated and mocked Harry and Meghan back. He tweeted, "Did this couple ever once consider their actions had upon the Queen's mental health? Did they consider the bullying they subjected her to? Their insistence that she should own the problem? More and more, a complete tissue of lies against the Queen and her family are being uncovered and are full and on open display. Perhaps a fulsome public apology from the Markles to our head of state is now long overdue." Indeed, that's such a heartbreaking picture of the Queen at her husband's funeral, standing all alone with her deep pain in her eyes. It's despicable what Harry and Meghan have done to her. Where is the respect? Not even as a queen, but just as a woman mourning her husband and Harry's grandmother at that. Because Prince Philip was ill in hospital when the Oprah interview aired, Oprah asked Meghan Markle if she wanted to postpone the interview until a later date. Meghan Markle shrugged and said something like, "No, what's done is done," and continued with her hate fest. Prince Philip left the hospital to come home and die. It was reported that the family made sure he did not know the details of what was said during the interview. Imagine how the family felt at the funeral, knowing what had been said about them and having to suffer with Harry there, strutting behind the coffin with a face like thunder. My opinion of Harry and his wife and what I wish for them in the future wouldn't be printed. Meanwhile, Meghan is the narc who wants to destroy the monarchy. In fact, she would like to destroy everyone who disagrees with her, says no to her, or is critical of her. Piers voiced an opinion that the majority of us share. As a journalist, he is the voice of others who share the same view, but have no voice. To some commenter, the Sussexes do have the right to free speech, yet what Meghan did was morally wrong, coercive, using her title and position, playing on non-relevant excuses of motherhood and womanhood to make the boss of Piers Morgan serve his head up on a platter, as Piers put it. She seems to be a menacing big baby. Also, Harry is wrong for pretending that medical expertise, using his social position and connections to sway people as if he needs no debate. I realized how fast one woman can destroy an entire family by only thinking about herself. How entitled she feels. It wasn't enough that she had this wonderful wedding, a huge house, and a title, and Harry all of a sudden is against everything he should support as a prince. Meghan is lazy, and one daughter-in-law I'd hate to have had. Nothing will ever be good enough for her. But I knew right from the start that that's how she is. Sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do, but you do it. We've all done that. So you had to wave to strangers and visit the sick, and that was too much for Miss Wannabe Superstar. But she's not talented because she's laying at it. I'm sorry, when I look at her, I see no different. I just don't think that there's a reason or an issue. She basically just says F you to the royals. She's a jealous, cold liar in my eyes, and I knew this would happen. I don't know what Harry thought when he met this gold digger. Now, the old queen, the grandma, is finally kicking back, stripped of all titles, and I think that's only fair. All I can think of is how greed destroyed more than just themselves. Meghan walked in, and all of a sudden, after 2 years, she said she'd endured so much disrespect. Like in many years, 7 or 10, but they barely married 3. And of course, she had to get pregnant immediately. And now another kid who will never be king. Harry is trapped. I see him being unhappy just like Diana was. He gave up so much. And until this wannabe starlet showed up, he's never complained or expressed that he hates England. I'm glad that what they're doing has consequences. They better find jobs. They'll need the money since they want to be independent. Until Meghan showed up, I can't remember ever wanting to leave England. He seemed happy, maybe a bit lonely. That's why he fell for Meghan so fast. And she was a calculating woman who thought that she will be a princess and queen one day. The higher you climb, the harder you fall. It's a shame how Harry's family is parted now. Bad enough that Meghan destroyed her own family, used her own blood like a chit. At some point, I feel like she's ashamed that one drop of her being different. She acts so embarrassed whenever someone talks about her family. I don't know, but I think she succeeded in destroying both families. I know William is heartbroken. Meghan is a selfish, arrogant, ignorant person. She alienated everyone. She doesn't understand how Harry's family works. She rebelled like 2-year-olds with tantrums. But I've seen this coming from day one. And of course, she'd pull the card that to get people on her side. Archie is exactly as American as we all are. She's an actress, and it shows. Look at Diana. That woman did so much for people. Dottie did as well. Meghan is destroying 2 families, and this isn't over yet. Can you imagine what Diana would do? Her son now being stripped of all titles, alienated from his brother. Her grandkids split apart. It's sad, but this woman will stop at nothing. I have a bad feeling when looking at Harry. I know that my thoughts are wrong, and sadly, often when I have such feelings, I'm right. Meghan wants to be a princess, and it won't happen. The palace is slowly turning away from Harry. Poor Queen is going to heaven with such a mess behind. Both the Sussexes and the royal family have different tastes and standards. It's just what both have in mind is vastly different from what they hope to get. In an ideal world, both should have already settled everything amicably, with no hard feelings, to allow each other to get on with their lives, as soon as Harry announced his exit from being an official member of the royal family. It is clear that while the royal family thought it was all done and dusted, the Sussexes think the opposite. What is totally immoral here is the fact that the Sussexes grabbed whatever they could get first and acted as if they agreed to the arrangement before going nuclear a few years later.